So let's start by talking about why scholarships are important. As you guys may know, college is getting more and more expensive. And so scholarships really help to lessen the impact of tuition costs. It also really allows you guys to focus more of your time while you're in college to school, because you're not worrying about having to have a part-time job to help pay for tuition. Those scholarships can kind of help supplement some of those extra costs. And I'm sure many of you have heard about student loans, and those can sound really scary and be really overwhelming. So scholarships are going to decrease the amount that you might have to take out, especially for students that might not qualify for state or federal assistance. As you guys, I know we have a mix of grade levels in here, but for our seniors that are working on their financial aid applications, there's a lot that goes into it. And not every student is going to qualify for what's called a Cal Grant or a Pell Grant. And so scholarships can really kind of supplement that and bring that tuition cost down. Another added benefit is that, it is hoped that students who receive scholarships will become more philanthropic or more giving themselves. And when they're in a position, after graduation, they're holding down a steady job, they can potentially give back to maybe their high school, maybe even the college they graduated from, and contribute a scholarship in that way. What I love so much about Edison that I think is really unique to Edison is that we do have quite a few alumni scholarships, and it's because we have alumni that received a scholarship when they were at Edison and they felt the impact of that and they want to give back to you guys. So we'll be able to go over some of those today. But let's talk about what types of scholarships are out there. It can be really kind of overwhelming and general just to see like, oh, I'm applying for scholarships, but there's so many different kinds. So you have your academic scholarships or your merit-based. You'll see those terms kind of interchanged. There's also financial or need-based, community service scholarships, athletic achievement scholarships, scholarships about any hobbies or talents that you might have, and then scholarships that are about your personal background. Maybe it's, something based on your ethnicity or your gender or anything like that. And all of these scholarships can be specific to our local community. So there are tons of Fresno scholarships in each of these categories, and they can also be state or nationwide. So there's some pretty competitive nationwide scholarships out there too that I'll introduce you to today as well. So let's look at what each of these scholarships are. So an academic scholarship or a merit-based scholarship is awarded to the highest performing students. So this is based off of your GPA, your test scores, how many AP and honors classes you might have taken. This is where you find those real competitive scholarships. So a lot of the time students think, well, I don't have the highest grades, so I can't apply for scholarships. But that's only one kind of scholarship, the academic scholarship. This is where you're going to hear that free ride or that full tuition. A lot of schools will have you apply for their institutional or their school scholarships, and those are based off of your GPA and your high school coursework. Now, one of the nationally ranked scholarships that's out there is the National Merit Scholarship. And this recognizes students who specifically score high on their PSAT. So I know with distance learning, we haven't had the opportunity to take the PSAT this year, but hopefully once things start to settle down, you'll have the opportunity to take it. And all you have to do is take the PSAT, and they look at your scores and you might qualify for money that way. So that one's not even, you don't even have to necessarily do an application. Your first step is just to take a test. So that's a little bit about academic scholarships. There are also financial scholarships. These are need-based, and these are based off of usually parent or family income, and it's for students that may come from a low-income background. Hardly anyone makes enough money to apply to pay for college tuition without taking some extra scholarships or loans or anything. And so these financial scholarships look specifically at parent or family income. They look at how many people are living in the home, all kinds of different things. And an example of a financial scholarship is the Davis Putter Scholarship. And really, they're looking for students that come from a low income background that really have a desire to succeed in the college world. There's no major requirement, so you don't have to study anything in particular. You don't really have to have, a GPA requirement. It's strictly based on parent income. So another version of scholarships. And then, of course, we have community service scholarships. So these are the ones that are awarded to students that are actively participating in their community. So this could be your school community, like Edison. This could be your church community. This could be Fresno community as a whole. Whatever community you are part of, service to that will get you a scholarship. This is really what I encourage students to do all throughout high school, because this will set you apart from other students. I think everybody kind of assumes we're all doing a little bit of community service, but it's not as popular as you might think. And so really showing your dedication to bettering your community is going to be important. I will tell you guys, especially right now when, schools are closed and so much of our world is turned upside down, if you can make use of this time in particular and find a way to give back to your community or your school, whether, I have a student that is sewing masks and giving masks to Children's Hospital. She's just doing that on her own. She's not part of an organization. It wasn't a club that told her to do it. She just thought, everybody needs masks, right? Anything like that. This is really what's going to distinguish you from other people, because scholarship committees, obviously they want a hardworking, motivated student to accept the award, but they also want you to be a good, well-rounded person, and community service is a great way to showcase that. My biggest recommendation for these kinds of awards would be to keep a detailed list of your community service projects and hours. When you are a senior, and some of you guys are currently experiencing this, you'll have the opportunity to list your community service participation on your college applications. Only some scholarships will want a detailed log of this was the organization I did, and this is how many hours, and this is a signature of someone that was there while I was participating. That's kind of rare. Honestly, a majority of these things is going to be on the honor system. Meaning that they're not going to verify that you actually went and picked up trash on a random Saturday morning. But you want to have record of that so that you can kind of total up all of your hours. So, my junior year of high school, I volunteered with, and this is not me, this is just an example. I volunteered with Tree Fresno and Read Across America, and that gave me 50 hours or something. So just to have a general idea, that way when you're ready to apply to scholarships and apply to college, you already have that information. You don't have to sit there and kind of think about what you did way back when you were a freshman or a junior or something. And a scholarship that's actually open right now is the Equitable Excellence Scholarship. This is for students that have made an impact in their community through volunteer service. So this is open right now. I think it closes in a couple of weeks. But for you seniors, if you want to check that out, I'll have that posted to our website shortly. And then, of course, we have athletic scholarships. All you athletes out there, you're aware of this, I'm sure. We're hoping to get those athletic scholarships. So these kind of scholarships are very specific, and they are awarded to students who plan to complete Division I and Division II schools. The NC2A is the governing board of college athletics, and so each school that is part of that association has different divisions. And so Division I and Division II are the only divisions that actually award scholarships. And these are based off of athletic ability. Sometimes they'll also, depending on the school, they'll look at grades, but for the most part, this is just based off of athletic talent. Something to think of, if this is something that you're interested in pursuing, is that you do still have to have a competitive GPA. Obviously, you can get offered an athletic scholarship, but at the end of the day, you still have to get accepted into the college that you're applying to. So you need to maintain a 2.3 GPA. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then you also need to register with the Eligibility Center. And the website is at the bottom of the screen for you athletes if you want to jot that down. That will make you eligible to receive, looks from schools, scholarship offers. Now, something that is important to note is that every school is going to have a different amount of athletic scholarships that they can give. So Fresno State is going to have a lot more scholarship money than maybe Fresno Pacific. So it's important to kind of, as you're thinking about where you want to apply, and if you're banking on that scholarship, you want to consider that. Something else that you need to consider is that only about 2% of high school athletes are awarded athletic scholarships. So that's a really small number. And in all honesty, that could change over the next couple of years because, there's not a lot of sports happening right now, both at the collegiate level and the high school level. So that could potentially go down as funding goes down. So the reason I say that is not to discourage you from participating in athletics, but to give you a realistic look at that. If you are planning to get an athletic scholarship, you still need to do some extra work to make sure that you have other options and other scholarships available to you, just in case that doesn't work out, just as a backup plan. So again, you can register for our athletes out there. You can register at the Eligibility Center with the NC2A. If you haven't done so already, your counselor or your coach can help you with that if you have any questions as well. And then there are scholarships that really have nothing to do with grades or income or athletic ability. It's just about what is unique to you. So there's tons of, I call them the random scholarships. It could be about a hobby or a talent that you might have. Typically with these scholarships, you have fewer people applying to them because they're considered random or because they're so unique. And so you actually might have a greater chance of earning that scholarship money because there aren't really that many people applying to it. A great way to look for these scholarships, and we'll get into this a little bit more detailed in a few minutes, but the scholarship search engines can help you because they'll actually be able to, you can indicate certain things that you're interested in, and then they'll bring up scholarships based off of your interest. So an example of this isn't a hobby or a unique talent, but I have red hair. And so there is a scholarship out there for students with red hair. That's the only requirement. You just have to have red hair. I don't even think it has to be natural red hair. I'm pretty sure you could dye your hair bright red and you could qualify for this scholarship. I also guarantee you there aren't going to be that many people applying for that scholarship too. But I've seen all kinds of things out there. I remember when I was applying to college and scholarships 400 years ago, there was a scholarship for students who just like to drink milk. And I liked to drink milk at the time, so I applied for it. And I didn't get it, but it's out there, There's random stuff out there. So just because you may not fit the mold, you might not be the highest performing athlete or the highest performing student, there's still money out there, guys. You just have to look for it. And then there are also scholarships that just have to do with your background. So this could be anything from gender, race and ethnicity, sexual orientation, anything like that. Maybe the background you come from, maybe you're a first-generation college student. These would also apply to you. Traditionally, these kinds of scholarships are looking to help students that are from underrepresented backgrounds. And so I have a couple of scholarships. There's actually 4 scholarships I wanted to share with you guys. These 2 are open now, and then we have 2 more that will open up next semester. But we have the Ron Brown Scholarship, which is awarded to African American students who demonstrate interest in community engagement. So this is going to be kind of a combination of personal background and community service. And then one of our alumni scholarships is the HAW 56 Scholarship for African American students at Edison. This is a new scholarship to Edison that I'm really excited to share with you guys today, and I can get you all the applications. Of course, it will be for seniors, but for those of you that are juniors, you'll still be able to have this scholarship available to you next year. This is three gentlemen from the class of 1956 that have decided to come together and award students at Edison a pretty significant scholarship. I believe there's a scholarship for $5,000, and then there's a couple of scholarships for $2,500, so $500. So they've got quite a bit of money, and these are students that love the Edison community. They are part of the Edison community, and they want to give back to you guys. So this is another one. This is, only to Edison students, which is really exciting. And then the next two that are going to be awarded next semester for our current seniors are traditionally awarded at the African American Recognition Ceremony. And so these are two great scholarships. The African American Recognition Ceremony awards thousands of dollars in scholarships every year. I can't remember how much they awarded last year, but it was insane. Ms. Hendricks, you might remember better than I, but they raise so much money, and they really, really dedicate and devote their time to recognizing our students. And so these are some awesome scholarships to apply for, and they're awarded at the ceremony. So yeah, you'll definitely, I don't think they're open just yet. They usually open about the second semester, but it's definitely something our seniors right now want to be aware of. So let's talk about where you find these scholarships. They're not just going to fall in your lap, unfortunately. You have to do a little bit of work to be able to find them. So I always direct our students to the counseling website. I hope you guys have checked that out, because there is really a ton of good information on there. I have the link to the scholarship page that you guys can take a look at. But if you visit our website, you'll click on College and Career, and then you'll scroll down and click on scholarships, and this is the page that you'll see. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see our quick links. These are scholarship search engines that you can create profiles on. You'll list everything about you: your grades, your test scores if you have any, your interests. If you have an idea of what you want to major in, you could do that. And then they're going to email you as often as you decide. It could be weekly, it could be twice a month, it could be once a month, whatever you prefer. But they'll email you scholarships that you might qualify for. There's going to be, they'll kind of vary in amounts, and they'll vary in expectations. So some you might have to write a short essay, some you might have to take a picture of you, taking your brother to get his blood pressure checked at Walgreens on the corner or something. I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there. So definitely, and this is applicable for all grade levels. I always encourage our underclassmen to check these out as well, because it gives you a sense of what's out there. And every now and then you'll come across scholarships that are specific to 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. So definitely check those out. Beneath the quick links is a long list of scholarships. So I just took a screenshot of this December scholarships. So my seniors that are on there, you can take a look. These are just a couple of what's on there. There's tons of scholarships on this page, and I'm not even close to being done to uploading everything on our website. But you can see some of these, like the first two, are nationwide scholarship programs. The Schmidt-Camp Family Honors Scholarship is a local scholarship. And then the LA Tutors, I believe, is a statewide scholarship. And the Transgender First Scholarship, I believe, is statewide as well, might be nationwide. But that just gives you a little glimpse of the variety of scholarships that are out there. Some of these have GPA requirements, some of them don't, okay? So that's the first place you want to check. Now, what I love about Edison in particular is that our students are super eager and motivated to find scholarships. Like I've been mentioning, a majority of the scholarships are going to be for current seniors, and most of them are going to be due in the second semester. So between January and May, usually, is when you'll find most due. There are some open now, like you'll see I just had some December scholarships listed on there. So a large majority of your scholarship search is going to take place your senior year. Now, it doesn't mean you have to wait till your senior year, because there are programs out there that will allow 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students to start earning money for college. So an example of that is Raise Me, and I'm going to introduce you to that a little bit today. This is a new program to me, so I'm still getting familiar with all of the ins and outs and how it exactly works. But for our underclassmen, this is going to allow you to create a high school profile. You'll be able to follow colleges that are partnered with Raise Me that you might be interested in attending after high school. And then in your profile, you're going to add all of your achievements, things you're interested in, the classes that you've taken, and then you'll start earning what they call micro scholarships just by participating throughout high school. So like if you're in AP Human Geography and you want to go to, I don't know, I can't remember which one, Mills College, they have a $50 scholarship just for earning an A in AP Human Geography. That easy. I mean, it's probably not easy to get an A in AP Human Geography, but there's no extra work that you have to do. So this is a really cool way for you guys to start earning money or micro scholarships before you get to your senior year. So by the time you're a senior, you can already have banked a couple $100 just by going about your normal business and uploading it onto Raise Me. It's also a really cool place just to learn more about colleges that have partnered with this program. You can get scholarships for things like taking a virtual campus tour. I mean, it's crazy what's out there. And then when you graduate and you decide, we finally decide what school you're going to go to, all the money that you've banked for that specific college will be counted towards your tuition for that school. So I want to kind of walk you through it because I do want you guys to check this out. And our seniors, obviously, you can do this too. So you will be able to create your account at raise.me. And the first thing you'll do is just going to ask you your personal information. What's your name? What grade are you in? When are you going to graduate? And then it'll ask what you've done in high school. And so this student, for example, was in volleyball. They were taking honors in AP classes. I believe they were taking an AP Human Geography class. And so you just kind of select things and it tells you how much you could potentially qualify for. So just by the student participating in volleyball, they could earn $90, which may not seem like a lot, but that's a textbook. Textbooks are expensive in college. So that's your first step. Once you select everything that you've been involved in or you're interested in, it will automatically generate a list of colleges that match the activities you listed. And then you can always add more colleges as you're kind of scrolling through. This is just automatically generated. So you'll see kind of the school names, and then they'll have the awards listed for, each of those little pictures stands for a different interest or hobby or something like that. So then you'll select to follow those schools. It'll send you information about the schools, and then it will take you to your profile. So in your profile, you'll be able to list all the courses you've taken, your grades, all the clubs you've been in, all the sports, community service, church programs. If you're in band or orchestra, literally anything and everything you can list in here. And then it will actually pull up micro scholarships specific to Edison. So students that join AP Ambassadors, there's money for you guys. Students in Model United Nations, there's money for you guys. So it will pull up things that other students are currently earning money for because they're participating in it. And then as you click on colleges, you can start researching the colleges that it automatically generated for you, and you can see what other schools are out there. And it's not every school, but it's a lot of schools. It's schools in California, it's schools down in Georgia, everywhere. There's a ton of stuff on here. So that way, when you are a senior and you finally decide where you're going to attend, let's say this, you started this account when you were a freshman, you got $90 for being a volleyball player, you got $60 for getting an A in AP Hug, and those are all Loyola Marymount micro scholarships. When you decide and enroll at Loyola Marymount, that money follows you. It's that simple. So like I said, this is still something that's new to me. It's still new to all counselors in general, but it's definitely something to check out because it's not anything you're not doing anything extra. It's stuff that you're doing currently. All right, so as you are starting your scholarship search and you finally get to apply, many scholarships will require a letter of recommendation. I've seen anywhere from 1 to 3 letters per scholarship. So it's really important that you kind of create meaningful relationships with, a big one would be your counselor, because everybody's going to want a letter of rec from your counselor because we have worked with you for 4 years. We've worked with you hopefully your entire high school career. So we've seen you from a little bitty, actually 8th grader, because you guys all come up for move up day, and then we see you blossom into this young adult. And so our letters of rec have a very different perspective than, say, a teacher's letter of recommendation. But it's really important to create meaningful relationships so that way you can get the best letter written for you. I would say when you are requesting letters of recommendation, you obviously, like I said, want a counselor or a teacher. It could also be a community leader or a club advisor or a coach. You don't want your mom to write you a letter of recommendation, although it would probably be the best letter of recommendation because she just loves you so much. It's not really going to have a lot of weight because everybody's mom thinks they're special, So make sure it's a professional or a mentor or something like that. And then make sure you're giving your recommenders at least 2 weeks to complete your letter. I can speak for myself. I have about 45 letters of recommendation that I need to complete by December 18th. So the more time you give me to work on that, the better your letter is going to be, and the better likelihood of it being done on time. And then it's also helpful to include a resume with your recommendation request. So I have an example of a resume. This is not my resume. I actually just put my name on another kid's resume, which don't do that. That's not cool. But I needed a high school example. So you can see this resume has listed the academic achievements, all the extracurricular activities they've been involved in, any volunteer service, athletic service. So this is just kind of a really straightforward look at everything this student has been involved in for the last 4 years. So a lot of teachers will ask for a resume, counselors will request one. We also, sometimes I'll have like a survey to complete. I know some of my students on here have already done my letter of rec questionnaire, and that just kind of helps us add in some personal details. So we're not just kind of regurgitating the information that's already on your high school transcript. So keep that in mind. I would start building a resume now, even if it's just jotting down activities. That will help you when it comes to your scholarship and your college applications too. I also wanted to share with you guys that there is going to be a scholarship night, a district-wide scholarship night taking place on January 26th. We've had a couple already this year, but the next and final scholarship night will be January 26th. This is when a district manager, Dr. Ponce Rodriguez, will come, and she's going to tell you a ton of information. If any of you have already experienced or gone to a scholarship night or even one of our financial aid workshops, you know how much information this amazing woman has to share, and she will probably change your life because she just is so knowledgeable. She just lives for financial aid. So if you are available on January 26th, I would definitely make it a point to attend because she'll probably go over Raise Me a little bit more, and then she'll help you with other scholarship resources, how to tweak your essays so you stand out a little bit, lots and lots of good info. So it's going to be on Teams, and you'll get more information in January about how to access and how to sign up.